Hello YouTubers, I want to welcome you to another edition of Bargain Bin Gear. And today is Christmas Eve. Well, almost. In a few hours anyway. So, hopefully you're subscribing and watching the older videos, because I often refer to them in newer videos. And, well, recently, I pulled out my Fender Princeton stereo chorus amp, right? And by today's standards, it would be considered a vintage amp just due to its age. Okay, it's kind of a sleeper amp. I mean, you just never hear about them. But to think that Fender made a stereo solid state amp with two power amps inside the casing, right, of the amp, right, two 25-watt power amps and two 10-inch speakers, right, and yet it's no bigger than a deluxe reverb. In fact, the casing itself is very similar to the deluxe reverb. You know, I wonder if they didn't use the exact same one, in fact. Never know. So anyway, I had three and I used two at a time, right, in stereo, even though they are stereo, right? I enjoy the stereo spread of playing two at once, so, you know, left and right. And I have three. I have two in my Studio B room, which is really my living room, and then my studio room. So I needed one more, basically, what it comes down to. And, well, I went looking around, and these are kind of hard to come by at a reasonable price, you know. And at a reasonable price, I'm talking about, you know, $200, right? And, well, of course, I checked Guitar Center for used amps, you know. And sure enough, they had one. And the price was right. They had some more expensive ones, but this one was $214. Alright, so it's above my $200 limit by $14. But considering the age of the amp, and they're getting harder to find every day, so I said, well, okay, I'm going to try that. And it said it was in good condition. Well, so I received it, and it definitely had some issues. In fact, along the right side, for whatever reason, it looks like somebody took a box cutter, ripped the Tolex all along the right side. So I wasn't very happy about that. However, I guess the important thing is that the amp works, and the rip can be somewhat fixed with just some super glue, as I had done on other amps and cabinets, so I was okay with it. However, I called them up. They gave me an option to return the amp or just take 10% off. Yeah. Alright. Well, since the amp worked, because I tested it, of course, I went ahead and just took the 10%. And however, I noticed another issue, and that is the grill cloth, right? Or at least the front grill. And I noticed there's a space between the grill and the side of the cabinet, and I'll show you that later. So I thought, boy, that doesn't look quite right, you know. I don't know if it's been jolted or moved or what. However, then I compared it to a Fender stereo Princeton chorus that I already had. And guess what? It also has a little spacing on the left side. And here's the thing. I could have returned it, right, and bought one somewhere else for probably more money, quite frankly. And, well, here's the thing. Remember, these are old amps. I mean, you know, really considered kind of vintagey amps at this point. And, well, another Guitar Center store, was selling one for the exact same price, and it said good condition. And just out of curiosity, I took a look at it, you know, look at the picture of it, and it was horrible. I mean, literally, it looked like somebody wiped their butt on the front grill. I mean, it looked like hell, so in a way I counted my blessings, and I was like, oh man, if that's what they consider good condition, I got really lucky with this one, you know. So anyway, I checked it out, and as far as the sound goes, it's exactly as described. I mean, it works. got that sound that I just really, really like. And keep in mind, this is one of the few solid state amps that I really, really enjoy playing. And I think originally it was designed to compete with the gigantic PV stereo chorus 212. Right? I've got one. So anyway, the entire amp is basically the price of a pedal. So, I mean, you can't go wrong there. And, man, they just sound great, the chorus effect is not gigantic, but I mean, you can definitely tell, but it's not overwhelming compared to the PV, which the chorus is crazy. I mean, it gets really, really loud. And the interesting thing is, with the PV, it has this kind of line out thing where you can actually add an extra amp, right? Gives you kind of a stereo sound. It's a very bizarre amp, really. And it's not your straightforward stereo amp. I mean, I think, well, it has two speakers. I think one speaker does the chorus effect and the other just does the guitar effect. So it's more of like a wet, dry kind of setup in that amp, which is kind of different. But on the Princeton chorus, it's more straightforward, kind of stereo amp. So anyway, yeah, considering the price I paid, the condition's okay, especially, my God, when I saw the other one they were selling, man, it was nasty looking. I mean, really, it looked like, I don't know, it looked like water had been, dripping on it for years or something. So, yeah. I'm not sure what that spacing's about, And I thought, well, it must be, that is broken or something. But then when I look at my other ones, they have it too. Not quite as pronounced, but pretty close. So, anyway, it is what it is, I guess. However, sound-wise, it really gives you a really nice sound. I mean, it's kind of... built-in reverb, 3-band EQ. It has a gain channel, but don't really want to waste your time with it. It's not very good. as my Christmas present, right? Anyway, I'm a big fan of these amps, you know, and I mean, they're old amps. But I very much like the size of them too, and they're very similar to the Deluxe Reverb as far as looks go, you know. I mean, it's quite interesting, really. Okay, so I wanted to show you that. Yeah, and I decided to keep it because it, you know, it plays as it should and everything. You know, not cosmetically, I guess. You know, it could be a little better, but for its age, you know, that's perfectly acceptable. Especially when I saw the one they were trying to sell is in good condition, you know, when really it looked like somebody used the front of the amp as toilet paper, you know, so I certainly didn't want that. But here, it's pretty good. Pretty good. So I'm very pleased overall, and, you know, and the sound is great, so. Okay. Very good. I'll see you next time.